Hello, once again. Today I'm here to show you the Miami Dolphins off season today. In this off season, Dolphins have improved a lot tremendously in basically in like a week. Chris Greer has just adjusted the offensive line, which allows our team to be more flexible and more, destructive on the offensive end. So in this case, I would like to say thank you, Chris Greer. Because let's be honest, I was calling for his firing, at the end of the season, and I was like, telling myself this team was not going to do anything because the offensive line was sheer garbage. It was trash. It was rubbish. It's all the things I should say as about Miami Dolphins fan. But I realized that sometimes good things happen to people who wait. So now Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's a very excellent quarterback, dude. He's a quarterback that I think is going to make a difference if Tua gets injured. He's a German draft pick. He's pretty young. I think Zach Wilson will have a future in the NFL basically. It's just that he need to be more consistent, and if he continues to prove it like he did in Denver Broncos, he'll be a hit maker. Not only that, the worst for him, I think it's just a minimum at this point. He just he got like three good starters and one very good starter that we signed this offseason as well, which I'll explain later. Now, with the next video, which I'm not explaining right now, this guy down here, James Daniels, a very good guard in general. 1791. The only problem with him is just he has become a risk factor, which is like I understand why he's like a very risky guy. He signed for a 3-year deal, but to be fair, those yards, bro, those yards matter, man. Yards matter, bro. So in this case, I think James Daniel will be a very good contributor for the Miami Dolphins I would say offensive line in this case. The only problem I worry about him is his injury history. He's like Tua. Like he's not as bad as Tua. Let's be honest. He's not like he'll get injuries. You screw. You're gonna lose a game. But reality is he has a good offensive future. That's what I want. I want a guy who can play the goddamn ball and get your goddamn play. Okay. All right. So James Daniel is like 1781 guard. He basically will be part. I would say he won't be part of the offensive line, but I think he'll play a major role in the offensive line. Because let's be honest, I don't know much about football. I started watching like basically in 2021 when we were facing the Buffalo Bills. However, he's a good guard. He's a good guard. That's all I can say. He's a good guard. He's a decent guard. All right. So in this case, I want to move on to the next guy. The next guard we have. What's his name? Mr. Larry Borom. Or I'm just talking about James Daniels in this case. But yeah, we're going to Larry Borum. Larry Borum as a guard, as a tackle. Yeah, let's be honest. The Dolphins not have a need not only for a starter but on the offensive line, but call you down, especially a tackle. Like we're going to lose some tackles in the foreseeable future, which is very like a kind of risky because we need our defensive line to be as good as our offensive line. Because at this point I realize this: the defense is pretty good. It's the offense need to improve. We just need to make sure we get our shots, man. We just need to make sure that we have like when Tua's injured, we got somebody to replace the offensive line in this case. So Larry Bowman will be a very good guy for our offensive line. Okay. In that case, I would say the offensive line in general just need just a little bit marginal improvement. So if you use this, I'll say yeah. And we're about to sign a former Detroit Lion player in our team, which is FL Madan, which will be a safety guy. He's a safety. In this case, we need like replace our two safeties because our two safeties are getting older. They're getting much more ahead in their advanced years, so they won't be useful in that regard. So I would say this in this regard that having a safety like from Detroit maybe a risky call, maybe a missing call, but I would say having a safety like having a safety is a safety. A safety is a safety. So in this case, I would actually have him right now, and he may be a rotational player or he could be a starter. I don't know. He's a good safety in that regard. The only problem is that he has some he's kind of injury prone, which in this case I would say A risk is a risk well taken. A risk not explored is a risk well taken. Okay? But to be fair, we're going to sit in the 60th place right now. Nick Westbrook. Not Russell Westbrook. Nick Westbrook. Nick Westbrook is a fire player, in my opinion. Not only is he one of time's best wide receivers, he had a stellar trade free season with 297 receptions in this case. 297 yards, and in this case, also no, I am downplaying him. 497 receiving yards, basically 497 receptions and 9 touchdowns. Like, goddamn, he had a good year. And not only that, he also is being played by the Dolphins, signed by the Miami Dolphins. And guess what you get? You also get, in general, a good wide receiver, Jonah Smith, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and motherfucking Russell Westbrook, whatever his name is. No, Nick Westbrook. I think it's Nick Westbrook. Yeah, Nick Westbrook. Nick Westbrook, not Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for Nick Westbrook. I'm sorry. You are. Oh my god, dude. Yes, dude. And now to talk about Ashton Davis safety. It's a safety. I don't care about safeties that much. I don't care about the defensive line. But to be fair, having a linebacker that can do 2 receptions and generate those 2 receptions in general will allow us to actually not improve in the defensive line, but will help us actually win games. And having a good defense, good pressure turnovers is good for us. So in this case, Tyler Dawson is actually a much needed acquired gain. Thus, this will end the Miami Dolphins offseason for now. And as I saw for reports, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Okay? Bye!